How's it going, guys? Cody, guys, back again, dropping out another video. Right, guys, I'm in the bath, absolutely no shit's given. You're lucky you can catch me on the toilet, guys. My arse is open like the mouth of a tired dog. Right, so anyway, I'm in the bath, just chilling, and I remember I was going to do a video. My last vlog, guys, right, that's still uploading now, it's in like the last few percent, right? Absolutely taking ages, my phone today, it's doing me head in. Anyway, I did say in that video that I was going to talk about a kid that I've been like speaking to, reference an upcoming court case, right? Now, it's a minor case, really. He's a Manchester kid, came to me through my YouTube channel and stuff like that. Spoke to him at length and stuff. Give my time for free, guys, quite a lot. Whether it's on a phone call, voice messages on WhatsApp, things like that. I'm always talking to people. Facebook, direct messages on Twitter, Instagram, on the phone, WhatsApp, calls, texts, emails. My phone's been blowing up the last few weeks, guys, right? I'm barreling down on 2,500 subscribers, so I'm very grateful to you guys. Anyway, this guy contacted me, right? It was his second ever time in court, but like the first time was a minor. He got caught with like a gram of cocaine, got a conditional discharge and stuff like that. Broke that conditional discharge because he ended up getting raided and they found 3.5 ounces, right? But it was a large amount of drugs, but it was only weed, right? So but it was over the custodial threshold, right? Now, obviously, the police and the courts have they've started to go a bit softer on the old cannabis, yeah? The old weed, the resin, the ash, the skunk, you know what I'm saying? Like, it's on the back burner, and they're not really actively pursuing it, but 3.5 ounces is quite a lot. Now, the banding and stuff, for those that don't know, it's banded, yeah, band 4, band 3, band 2, band 1. Because of the amount, right, he fell into band 3, only was over by a gram. Right, so the police did him for that gram on top of the ounce, the 3.5 ounce, so took him into band 3, yeah. So he was like, this kid, yeah, let me tell you, after he got raided and stuff, right, he was living with his mum. After he got raided, yeah, this kid, it scared him straight, yeah. He moved all the way to Wales, right, to a seaside town in Wales. Really good kid from a really good family. His brother's got a good job. His mum tried to bring him up the right way and stuff, but he was from town, dead proud Mancunian and all that, but because his mum and his mum saw him going down the wrong path and was going to end up going down the crime route and gangs and like dealing and all that sort of stuff, right? Which, like I say, it's a murky world. People getting shot, people getting killed, stabbed up, fucking people going through doors for grows and grafts and stuff, and taxation and all that sort of stuff, right? So this kid, after he got nicked, yeah, moved all the way to Wales, right? Now, if I remember correctly, the phone call, he threw his guilty in early. Because the evidence was against him and stuff, he couldn't really argue. I spoke to him on the phone and stuff, right, because he was panicking. I said, have you got a barrister? And he was like, I don't know. I said, what do you mean you don't know? So I said, listen, I said, when you up for sentence? And he said, oh, the 7th of June. I said, right. I said, you need to get character references. I was trying to help him, guys. Like I say, my help doesn't go towards whether he gets a suspended sentence or a custodial sentence. It's just, I'm trying to help him up and clue him up towards mentally preparing yourself for prison, which you can't do, but you can answer as many questions as the lad's got. What to pack for prison, about character references and stuff like that, which are obviously, when it comes to sentencing and stuff, you've got mitigating and aggravating circumstances. Mitigating circumstances are the reasons why you shouldn't go to prison, the good things that you're doing, working, like you might be doing charity work and stuff like that. You might, like I say, all that sort of stuff. The fact he moved out of the area as well, that was another mitigating circumstance to get away from a life of crime. Very big move that. I couldn't uproot and leave Manchester because I'm a Manchester boy through and through, yeah, man. So he moved down there, got a job working 60-hour weeks and stuff. Really, really polite, well-spoken kid, yeah. The Manchester kid, but he was from a good family, you could tell that. So anyway, I was chatting to him on the phone, I'm just saying, look, you need to be in your barrister's ear, because some barristers, guys, right, they don't start asking about pre-sentence reports, right? A pre-sentence report is where the judge wants a bit of background on the person, why they did what they did, are they remorseful, paint a picture of like the family life, previous convictions, police intelligence, is he remorseful, why did he do it, all that sort of stuff, right? And what it means in layman terms, if the judge accepts it, it's not applicable in every case. It's where it's like you're on the periphery of custodial sentence meets suspended sentence, community order, all that sort of stuff, right? So, but the judge will always say, if he grants a pre-sentence report, just to let you know that the jail is definitely not off the table, because obviously jail's only one option. There are many other options and stuff. Anyway, I was talking to him and stuff. He came up to Manchester, stayed in a hotel the night before his court case because he was obviously out of Manchester, so he was at Minchell Street Crown Court. I spoke to him on the phone, yeah, this night. He'd had quite a few drinks, yeah, alcohol, yeah, because obviously he thought he was going to prison. And I said to him, I said, I hope you've packed a bag and everything. He went, nah, I said, I'm going to get suspended. And I said, listen, I said, kiddo, I said, do me a favour. I said, so you're going to court tomorrow in a suit? He said, yeah. I said, right, so because I told him to wear a suit because obviously first impressions count. Some people just walk in and trackies, guys, you'd be very, very surprised. So anyway, I said, listen, I said, so if you go in, I said, there's another kid that's up on committal for sentence, yeah. I said, if he goes in before you and then you go in straight after him, I said, and the judge is going to be already on the bench, yeah. I said, if you walk in without a bag, I said, what does that message say to the judge? It tells him you think you're going home. I said, that judge then can think, you know what? You ain't going home on my clock, mate. Yeah, like, because it's a sign of, it could be a sign of arrogance. The judge might not give a shit, but the judge could also look and think, well, this kid thinks he's going home. I'm going to send him down the river to inconvenience him and fuck him over. So anyway, I said to him, I said, what have you got clothes on you? He said, right, I've got 2 pair of socks, 2 pair of boxers, 2 pair of trackies, 2 t-shirts. I said, right. I said, well, the hotel you're staying in, I said, have you got a backpack? I said, I've got like a little school bag thing for holding my shoulder. You know, like one of the little turtle pack things, right? The little over-the-shoulder numbers. But there's not, you can't really put much in there. I said, well, hold on, I did tell you to pack a bag. And I was a bit gutted that I'd not spoke to him before he travelled up to tell him to pack a bag. Anyway, he got up in the crack of dawn in the morning, went and got a big old dog, and he listened to me. I said, listen, I said, because you've not got much in there, I said, pad it out, steel towels from the hotel. Yeah, I sold him to steel towels. It's fucking, that's included in the fucking price, man. Things like shower gels, things like that, fucking towels, you take them because it's involved with a price in it. Don't start ripping a telly out the wall or nothing like that, yeah, man. And don't tell them that you fucking watch my video either, because I'm not getting into trouble. Anyway, so, yeah, so he went out, he bought this whole doll. He did what I said, he padded it out and stuff, so it looked like there was more in there than there actually was. I tried to ring him in the morning, trying to see, but I told him to have his phone on silent and stuff. Told him to have his character references there, ready to go to hand to the barrister. Like I say, some barristers will already ask these questions. A lot of them, guys, don't, and some of them will fight for your tooth and nail. Some of them are just like, yeah, I'm really not asked. I didn't sleep very well last night. I've got a bigger case this afternoon, because they're obviously from court to court to court. They're representing like 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10 people sometimes in a day. Anyway, so I was chatting to him, told him polite, respectful, suit, shirt, tied, a lot. Character references there, bag packed, yeah, go in, try and get a pre-sentence report right now. I was on the phone all afternoon that day. I rang the court and actually said, I'm a freelance journalist, here's the case number, has it been dealt with? She said, no. I said, right, so his phone was obviously off and stuff. I told him to obviously write down numbers for his friends and his family and stuff, addresses that he might need. You got to take envelopes, stamps, writing pads, all that stuff, right? So he wrote down the numbers and stuff. He had them on him because I told him when you get to prison, you get a 2-minute phone call if that goes the way. Now, I was very confident that it was like a 70, 80% that he was going home and a 20 or 30% chance that he was going to prison, because like I say, it was only his second charge. It was, yeah, it was for drugs and stuff. Yes, it was while he was on this conditional discharge, right? And like I said, but the amount is massive. If that was coke, right, you'd be down the river, it'd be fucked, mate. But obviously weed's weed, yeah, it's 3.5 ounces. But in one court where one judge will give a suspended, another judge will say, well, nah, I'm sending you down for 6 months, for 8 months, 12 months. I think the starting point was 6 months, and it was a maximum of 3 years on band 3 for possession with intent to supply weed, right? Again, it's a minor charge, But what I wanted him to do is I wanted him to prepare for the worst case scenario, obviously prison. Now, I didn't want the kid going to prison, but I wanted to have it in his head. If he thought he was walking out with a suspended and then the judge sends him down, his whole world's going to come crashing down before him. So I was trying to keep his head on his shoulders, advise him as much as I could. Obviously, it's his barrister that does the work, guys. I was just in his ear telling him, look, you tell that barrister, you fight, because he was a polite kid. I didn't know if he was going to do that, but he did. Anyway, he contacted me in the afternoon. I get a text. He said, I'm a free man. So I get on the phone to him and said, right, kid, what's going on? His brother had travelled up from Nottingham. His brother's got a really, really good job. He was there with his mother. I said, right, go on. And he said, right. He said, I got 6 months. I got a 6-month sentence, suspended for 18 months. And I got a £150 fine. Now, like I say, I knew there was a very, very high probability he was going home, but I wanted him to be prepared for the worst case scenario, because in life, worst case scenario will normally happen. If you're prepared for it, you can build upwards from there. If you don't, and you put all your eggs in one basket, think you're going home, when it gets ripped from under you, you've got no eggs in your basket, you're on your arse, your world come crashing down. he said my mum was upset, she was crying and stuff like that, she was very emotional after I got the suspended and stuff like that. I said, how did you feel when you, because I was trying to make him relive it and stuff, I said, how did you feel when you stepped into that dock? How did you feel when they put your bag like on the, like near to the prison, like to the cell's door, yeah? And he was like, mate, my legs were like jelly, I thought my stomach was doing somersaults, I stood up, I was nervous, I thought I was going to pass out, right? And I felt exactly the same. I was an hardened criminal, right? Like I say, he might have a first time before the courts proper, after I'd been active for so long and arrested so many times, the police got me on the assault. So I was trying to say to him, look, so I said, I said, don't just think about what you put yourself through. I said, think about the effect to your mother. I said, your mother's moved areas from everything and everyone she'd ever known for you, to keep you out of trouble, or worse, a body bag, because he was going down that fucking route. Like I say, he now works in Wales somewhere. I'm not going to disclose where because of privacy and stuff and respect. But he works in a bar. He's working 60-hour weeks. He's got a new circle of friends. He's doing it the right way. And he put, as you can see from the start of the video, guys, he put a post up, little picture of her in the reflection and stuff, like saying, look, I'm sorry for what I put my mum through. I will never do it again. I commented, say, look, you're a good kid from a good family and a good background. Do it the right way. Make your mum proud. And then he was like, thank you for your time and stuff. And he kept me head on my shoulders because he didn't know anything. He wasn't really getting contacted from his legal team. Like I say, I didn't get him enough. I'm not stupid. I was just a little kid in his ear trying to help him and advise him to prepare for prison, mentally prepare, which you can't really do because no amount of watching documentaries or films on prison issues, or me saying it, or any other prisoner saying it, or prison officers, you can't really prepare psychologically and mentally for prison, because it's like a roller coaster of epic proportions that you can never fully put into words. As guys, we do the whole macho thing where it's all like, yeah, I did this, I did that and stuff, right? And we try to make light of the situation. Now, yeah, you will have a laugh in prison. Yeah, you'll meet some top kids in prison, but psychologically, it damages everybody. You may leave prison, but prison will stay with you. You pick up habits in prison, you make criminal connections in prison. Prison's a very paranoid place. Now, it takes its toll on you psychologically, emotionally. Like I say, some people more than others. Some people with mental health problems, they could suffer hour to hour. Some it'll be days, some it'll be every few weeks. Some people it'll be once in a lifetime. But at some point or other, prison will get to you, and you'll be concentrating on the dark times and stuff. The most dangerous thing in prison isn't the weapons, isn't the spice, isn't the understaffing, isn't the weapons. It's your own thoughts. When you're locked in a cell for sustained periods of time, depending on what prison you're in and what regime you're in, boredom is a big factor. And then, like I say, people turn to drugs to escape the reality of the surroundings and stuff as a coping mechanism, and boredom to alleviate the boredom. Prison's a dangerous place, and when you've got your own thoughts, you think, you overthink, you overanalyze. A lot of people that are in prison, guys, before they've ever been offenders, they've actually been victims. And I say this in a lot of videos. They've grown up in care, they've been sexually abused, they're care leavers, the parents were addicts, they've suffered with addiction, alcoholism, things like that. They've been homeless, they've made bad choices. But like I say, sexually abused, physically abused, emotionally abused, bullied. There's a lot of people in prison that are fucked up beyond repair, guys, right? And like I say, they was victims before they was ever offenders. Yeah, we commit crime. Yes, we know right from wrong. But you've got to look at the root cause and stuff of these young men. Some very good kids in prison. And people say, oh, how can there be good men in prison? Not everyone in prison is guilty, guys. You've got people on remand, you've got miscarriages of justice and stuff like that. But prison for a lot of people in the youth is seen as a badge of honour, right? I don't really buy into that shit, yeah. I understand the logic and stuff, and being a kid and naive, and yeah, it's seen as a badge of honour. Oh, I've been penned, mate, and all that. And it's like, yeah, but I wish I could get hold of these lads, right, that are 14, 15, 16, that are going down that route of selling drugs and pistol whip hero and knife crime and stuff, and just fast the clock on forward to them and say, put them in a bubble, take them with me, say, look, this is going to be your life. There's your mother grieving over a coffin because you've been stabbed to death. There's you at a funeral all dressed in black because your boy's been knifed to death or your mandem's been shot dead, yeah. And this is the reality, guys. With fewer police on the streets, guys, the streets are absolutely lawless, guys. Like I say, there's a lot of going on on the streets of Britain. Fewer police on the streets, community police stations closing down, youth services have been cut, bad political decisions. Like I say, just feral youth. It's becoming a criminal's paradise, guys. And like I say, this kid, by going to prison, wouldn't have gained anything by going to prison. There was nothing to be gained. He wasn't a violent criminal. He wasn't a hardened criminal. He started to make his way down that slippery slope for which it is very, very hard to get out alive, because it does go on. Like I say, people raiding each other, doing sends with the grime music, the drill music, people kicking doors in and stuff like that. It's a very, very murky world where the end game is money, and they will do anything to get that money. They will hustle, they will rob, they will deceive, they will take, they will rob, and that's the way that it is. like I say, criminals stealing from criminals, if you live by the code, you won't go to the police because you can't go to the police. You can't say, oh, I've just had 20 grand, 30 grand's worth of gears taken, or I've had 30 grand taken from a shoebox in my gaff, or behind a fucking false wall, or under my bed, or whatever, because it's money that's illegal, and you get them for, obviously, you can look at money laundering, and then they take your phone, they take you into custody, download all your shit, make criminal connections, paint a picture, sell site, can put you in the area of other crimes, and it's like, honestly, it snowballs. One crime becomes two, one offence becomes two charges become three. And before you know it, guys, you're absolutely burying yourself. And like I say, not everyone lives by the code. Some people will squeal as soon as look in the inside of a prison cell because they're scared, they can't fear it, they've got too much to lose on the out and stuff, right? But if you live by the code and you do it right, like I say, for me, I don't want to glamorise gun crime. I don't want to glamorise drugs. I've been involved with it. I've been arrested for it. And I'm lucky that I never went to prison for it because, like I say, I was arrested on some very serious charges. Just like a lot of people, that's not a good thing. It doesn't make me big, bad and clever. It's not clever, it's not big, it doesn't suit me. But loads of people have done what I've done. Right? Some people get caught, some people don't. But the end result in that life is looking over your shoulder, paranoid, dead, your friends being dead, and your family end up burying you. And like I say, if not, you'll be spending a long, long time behind jail walls, you hear me? On that note, guys, I'm sweating my back out, as you can see. Like, comment, subscribe. Competition's still going. If you want to donate to my channel, I'll put my bank details and my PayPal in a link in the description below. Let me know if there's any videos you want me to do, guys, because I'll be honest with you, I've put so much content out there and it's only just started taking off, and it's like, oh my god, I've got to find fresh material now. Anyway, Lewis walked free. I'm not going to mention his last name. Really, really happy for the kid. Spoke to him on the phone, wish him all the best, and you can see the status at the beginning of the video in the comments. Speak to you soon, guys. Cody out.